Alrighty. Welcome back to our second episode of the Babble PlayCast. I'm Justin. And Robert's sleepy.
And all those chickens.
It is actually 12:37 in the morning.
Yeah.
Actually not as hot. Then
No, it's fresher than yesterday.
yeah, hopefully we get that cold front, and I hope it's not because of the result of a killer hurricane taking out half of the Gulf.
Yeah.
Alright, but
A hurricane fusion.
so yesterday our first episode went up. That was just a little introduction, and that may have been a little, but hey, it's our first episode. The game we're playing is called Gang Beasts. I believe it's on all consoles, if I'm not mistaken. I think
Yes.
it should be on Steam, PS4, Xbox One. It's actually a really fun game. It's just me and
At Switch.
really.
Yeah, it got ported to Switch apparently.
Oh,
I think. I want to be sure because I don't want to sound like a liar.
and I said
Or at
no.
least I thought it was coming to Switch.
You know, like a liar.
I don't know. I guess not.
Yeah, it's actually a really fun game to play with your friends.
Oh no, not on Switch yet.
Yeah, I think it supports multiple people. I'm not entirely too sure how many people can be on it at once, but it's pretty fun. Anyways, so yesterday we were gonna talk about gatekeeping halfway through, but Robert didn't have his PowerPoint ready. He has his PowerPoint ready today. He has a whole what is it? Charlie Day, the whole Always Sunny in Philadelphia, yarns and everything stuck together, kind of thing going on.
Oh yeah. I was
So
like, I don't get your reference, but now I do.
we watched an episode in the room.
I have a T-shirt based on it.
So this actually applies to almost any fandom that you can find, and I want to say it's one of the border like toxicity has many forms, many different levels, many different like it literally you can have like those people who are racist, you have those people who discriminate against gender and whatnot, and those elitists and stuff. But before you get to all of those final bosses, you have to get through the gatekeeper, and there is no other fandom that has the biggest gatekeepers than the fandom that I like to be a part of, which is like Power Rangers, Super Sentai, most of those Japanese superhero shows that obviously aren't really well known but have like a cult following, and cult following fandoms are the biggest gatekeepers, like Hannibal. No, I'm not.
No,
That's not true.
no.
That's not true.
That's like the nicest community ever.
And that's what you said about the Animal Crossing community.
Oh,
It's super
yeah.
crazy there. I was just in it for the bells and stuff, just to try to get some stuff going, but it is
Yeah.
crazy. But since this was your idea, go ahead and give us a quick little look in, because you were like, I just want to talk about it one day. You were just so angry about it.
Yeah, but now I've pulled down like it was a couple days ago, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, I don't want
What was it? Like, what happened?
to. So Angry Joe, YouTuber, he did a reaction to because DC fandom was just this past weekend, I think.
Yeah, I want to say the past weekend or within the last
Yeah,
week.
or yeah, within the last week, and they showed off the Zack Snyder's unreleased version of Justice League, the trailer.
Yeah.
And so Angry Joe did a reaction to it as he usually does, and he ended up confusing a character with Darkseid, and a bunch of people who know the comics and like are super comic fans got butthurt about it, and they're like, "No, Joe, that's not Darkseid. You saw Darkseid at the beginning of the trailer because Darkseid does show up like second one, like the first second of the trailer, he's in there,
Yeah.
and it's just like it was a quick mistake and people were getting like so upset about it. There's like a whole thread of tweets of people just getting upset, and that's what like set it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm trying to find it, but it's buried. with a bunch of stuff that's happened lately.
Yeah, I mean, it's like with the Yakuza movie. I was like, who's Sonata? Little whole world,
Oh,
Sonata was Nishiki the entire
yeah.
damn time. I was so my I wish we recorded my reaction when I saw him for the first time.
Okay, so here it is. A tweet saying Angry Joe thought Desaad was Darkseid, even though the trailer opens with Darkseid. I really question some of these self-proclaimed quote Superman fans sometimes. Someone replied to that saying, "Yeah, he really should stick to video games. He doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to DC. He likes Reeves, but not the actual Superman character." And then Angry Joe's like, "Who the hell are you to tell me what characters I like and don't like?" And then a bunch of people were just pissed off in the thread.
Yeah, so yeah, that's the thing, and that leads into another thing that I want to talk about. Uh, but we'll talk about that a little bit later if I don't forget. so
I'll probably remind you.
uh, so yeah, so that there was that right there was that instance with the whole DC fandom and everything, and there was another instance to where I think it was somebody who thought Idris Elba was gonna be Deadshot,
Yeah.
but I think he's a character called Bloodsport. Is that what his name was?
Yes.
So everyone thought he
Yes.
was Deadshot, right? And a lot of people were like gatekeeping. They're like, no, no, that's not how it's supposed to be. No, that's not how you do it. No, and it was Bloodsport and another one called Ratcatcher or Rat something. I can't.
Yes. Ratcatcher too.
So they used part two, and boy, did they
Yeah.
lose their minds. They're like, why not part one? Why are you using? Why aren't you using part one? Part one's the most leading. Blah 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 blah. And it's like, hey, calm down, okay, you can calm down. And everyone also was complaining, why are they using so many D-listers? Why aren't they? Because it's called the Suicide Squad. It's gonna be hilarious to see half of those guys, die like Slipknot in
Yeah.
the other Suicide Squad movie. Although I will say I didn't have a problem with the way Harley Quinn looked in the first one. It was just whatever, and
Yeah.
every girl and their mother was Harley Quinn and stuff. But now you got like a legit looking Harley. She actually looks like
She
Injustice
looks
too.
really good. Mm.
Yeah, the whole leather jacket and stuff, which I'm a big fan of. Yeah, and it's fine. Harley Quinn can look however she wants. She has so many different looks. You know, but yeah, man, the gatekeeping is just it's like a Dark Souls boss. It's never the first boss you come into is not even supposed to be that hard. But here comes the cleric beast to come push your shit in, and you don't finish the game.
In case it'd be like Bloodborne. Beat the
Nah.
game already. Hurry up.
No, make me. I can't. I wasn't even doing that bad either. I just got upset that I got mad over an optional boss that I was supposed to go back and fight when I was a lot stronger.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me it was
But I
optional.
mean,
Or I
who?
didn't
I didn't
ask.
know what boss you were on.
I think it was the Bloodstarved Beast.
Yeah, that's optional,
Oh,
if I remember correctly.
well, shitballs. I didn't know that.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So there was an instance, and I want to say going through Gotham Knights. If I can remember, I don't think I can find it anymore because a lot of people backtrack when people call them out. Was that
Right.
Gotham Knights didn't feel like an Arkham game?
It
Now,
doesn't, but it's not an Arkham game.
yeah, it's not an Arkham game, and the whole DC fandom was just a whole slew of gatekeepers, and hey, surprise, surprise, guess who really changed their minds about Robert Patterson being Batman?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Everybody,
there's still people
yeah,
who
no,
were like doubting
yeah,
him.
yeah, everyone's like, oh, look at Sparkly Vampire, blah 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 blah. Even here in San Antonio, we have our own Batman of San Antonio, who I thought was really cool. In reality,
I thought you
he's
were going to say Sparkly Vampire.
no, well, that's what he called him. He's like, oh, Sparkly Vampire. We'll see how this goes. We'll see. Man, you were
Yeah.
over here bandwagoning Batfleck and stuff like that, and everyone was like naysaying Batman. Ben Affleck
Yeah.
being Batman, but everyone was just Robert Patterson Batman, and everyone thought he couldn't own up to it. But holy crap, did he look really fucking badass as Batman? It was so good.
Yeah.
I liked it, and I even said, well, I'm not gonna say anything yet. I love the suit. I love the way the Batman,
It looks good so far.
yeah, I love the way the Batmobile looks like because there is a version of that Batmobile, and I think it was, I think in the article they said that this is based off of year two Batman, so you
Yes.
probably won't see the Joker anytime
Yeah,
soon.
it's year two and some of the Long Halloween storyline,
Yeah,
but it's Batman's second year. So yeah, year two.
yeah, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, but the Riddler looks, crazy." And well, not every single Riddler is the same. I mean,
Yeah,
I think people are still hoping for just like this egotistical, like narcissistic. Yeah, but that's not really. And the Penguin, you see him too. And a lot of people were complaining that the Penguin wasn't there. The Penguin should be play a bigger part and stuff. And it's just like, okay, yeah, but like, shut up.
yeah. It's actually a. I do believe it is the Penguin. He shows up for like a quick second, played by Colin Farrell, and I was like, that doesn't look like Colin Farrell, but he's wearing a lot of prosthetics, and it looks really good
He does,
if it
and
is him.
he does. And there have been iterations where Penguin isn't short
Yeah,
and stubby. It's just like his appearance resembles that of a penguin, and it's just a nickname. It doesn't really have to go by appearance and stuff.
yeah. I mean, just look at the was it the Gotham TV show?
Yeah, he was, and also
He
the
was
Telltale Batman too did
skinny
the
and
same
tall.
thing.
Yeah,
So there was that. You gotta realize that you need to keep an open mind about these. If you let every little detail, like mess with you, you're not gonna be able to enjoy anything. Like
yeah. I mean,
Robert has this whole catchphrase where he's like, "It's fine, it's fine, it's not the end of the
it's my
world.
favorite thing to say.
It's like it's fine. Don't worry about it and stuff." But so comics are the big places you'll see gatekeepers. Like if you just like change the smallest thing, even if it's just gender. Gender's a big thing. If you change a character that's supposed to be male to female, like in The Boys, what was her name? Who she was supposed to be?
Oh, is it
The handler.
Stormfront?
No, not Stormfront. Well, Stormfront, but the handler that was supposed to keep an eye on.
Oh, right. The one he had sort of had a relationship with.
Yeah, I just
I
forgot
forget
his.
her name, but
I forgot
that was the amount.
Homelander. There we go. Homelander's character. It was supposed to be male. He was supposed to be like, and it's just it was. You understand that it'd be pretty boring if you do exactly everything they see from the comics and translate it
Yeah,
over to it'd be boring.
yeah.
Uh,
Because if you knew the comics, then you know everything that's gonna happen.
yeah, and God forbid that you get a small detail wrong and you get a bunch of gatekeepers like, no, you're not a fan. Get out of here, fake fan. We don't want you here. And it's like, okay, well, calm down. All right, I didn't even know the boys existed until Robert showed me. The
Yeah, and I didn't know it existed till like a random ad on YouTube.
yeah, I just watched the show just like he did, and I instantly loved it. It was such a good day that we were watching the boys. I really liked it, and I actually watched a comic explanation on it, and I saw a bunch of how Huey was supposed to look like Simon Pegg and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
so they got him to play the father as like a little nod to it.
Yeah, and Carl Urban and apparently in the first run of it, they were supposed to have superpowers. So there was that, but man, and gatekeeping really puts people off when you enter a fandom, any fandom like Star Wars, Steven Universe, Animal Crossing. You just there's a technique to do that, and it's just ignore them. They're an optional boss. You don't really have to interact with them.
Yeah, until you go and level up and like defeat the main bosses, and then
Yeah,
like just smash the
if they
face in.
if they call you a fake
Literally.
like a fake fan, just and you're a new one, don't worry about it. I'm pretty sure that there are people out there who there, and it's not everybody is bad. Some like I had questions about like Common Writer, and there was a guy nice enough to give me the lowdown, like a storyline, like what order I should watch it because I was new to it. This was way back when, and he was nice enough to show me around. And I don't know everything, but I know enough. I know around. I keep up with it, and I know what some people are talking about and stuff. I don't know every actor. I don't know all the people. And no one really bothers me about that. And there was somebody who was making like talking crap to me, and I just ignored them. And he made a comment saying, "Oh, look," he's like, "Yeah, I see he's not saying anything." I was like, "I'm not saying anything because I have no idea what you're talking about." I go, "I
Yeah.
just found out that Kamen Rider was a thing." I remember Dragon Knight, and I remember thinking, "Sorry, in 2010 I was a fucking kid." In 2010, he's like, "Oh, you young people." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, you're an adult. The hell are you doing watching a kid show?" I can't talk. I can't talk anymore.
And look at you now.
Yeah, it's just like I don't blame anybody. And there's some guys like some people who don't know that Super Sentai was the original. You tell them. But there are people out there who just like to strike a chord with you. People out there just like to, make you, rage for no goddamn reason because they think it's funny, and you don't have to interact with them. You don't interact with them. That's just it. Just don't worry about it, man. And that's one of the bigger like gatekeeping. And there is a tweet that I have, and I will look it up. Actually, I screenshotted it. Give me 1 second. One
Okay,
second.
good. You came more prepared than I was.
Shut up.
Actually, I do think I have the screenshots of the tweets, but I don't want to find them.
Okay, so this is between the two. Now their names are in the Japanese kanji, so I cannot tell you what their names are. For context, every year there's a new writer, or every year there's a new team of Sentai, like how every year there's a new Power Ranger and stuff like that. So in Kamen Rider, we started a new generation. It's a new era, a new thing, and we just got done with the first era, like new generation writer. So this is gonna be the second one, and they were both congratulating each other. The new actor who's coming to play Kamen Rider Saber is congratulating Kamen Rider 01 on a well deserved season, especially during like the whole pandemic and stuff that was going on, and said how quickly he pulled through and that they were proud and they can't wait to see them, go further and beyond. And eventually they do a movie together. That's how it goes. The last writer
Yeah.
will show up in the new writers, show as like a whole movie bit kind of thing they have going on,
Right.
and vice versa. The last movie for the 01 is gonna have a little sneak peek of Saber in action. So they kind of have that, and the actors are just and if you ever see the behind the scenes stuff for that, it's very emotional. It's very touching. I like it a lot. But here comes some jackass coming in saying, "Oh, well, your show has," and this is Kamen Rider Saber. He's like, "Your show has, Kamen Rider Ghost is writer, so it probably won't be as good. So I wouldn't get your hopes up for being the next like big writer." And it's like, who the fuck are you? And even if people were like, well, there's a reason for that. Most of the resources were pulled because they were doing two writer shows, one for Amazon Prime called, oddly enough, Kamen Rider Amazons,
Yeah.
and not because of Amazon's on Amazon. Kamen Rider Amazon was originally back in the 1980s. So it was a show back then. So they were
Makes
throwing
sense.
it, and it was supposed to be a more violent version of Kamen Rider, like
Right.
how people want like a more mature Power Rangers. Well, that's what they were going
Yes.
for, and this happened to be around the time for Kamen Rider Ghost, which is a hentai, which was about, I want to say, back in 2012, 2013, 2014, around those the 20 something, like a little late to 20, before 2020. We had those writers going around, and a lot of people didn't like Ghost. That's fine. You don't have to like every single common writer. You're not to have your own favorite. I mean, it's like you can't. It's impossible to like everything, but it's impossible to hate everything. You know. I mean, it may have a rocky story, but man, that suit looked badass. The gimmick
Yeah.
was really cool as well. I loved it a lot. But I sold my Ghost Driver to a YouTuber called,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
his name's Zarin Zephyr, but I don't think he does Kamen
Mm-hmm.
Rider stuff anymore. But yeah, he sent me a picture of my belt and he modified it
Oh, that's cool.
so super. Oh, like, oh,
I'll buy it back. Yeah, right.
but there have been times where I just didn't bother with some fandoms. Like I was like get, I was gonna get super into what's it called? I can't. Oh man, and it's been so long, and I completely forgot about it too. There was this crap. I feel bad. I can't remember it. It
I'll
was
come back to you eventually.
it was supposed to be this uh you know it. It's a show. It's called they were trying to be like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon, but they would play the game in some kind of virtual room, and the cards turned like whatever character they picked, it turned them into that monster. And I did two main guys. One of them had glasses. We were talking about, remember, in the room.
Oh man, that was so long ago.
It was one of the characters looked like a green goblin, and the other one looked like a demon. Uh, Chaotica. What was it called?
Oh, was it Chaotica?
Yeah,
It was an
Chaotic.
old cartoon.
Yeah, so it was a card game too, and I was to get super into it. But man, did those guys? And at the time, it was kind of popular, and there were a couple of kids. But like, I only watched the show. Apparently, there's some kind of like other stuff when you collect the cards and stuff. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore.
Is that the name of it? Because I looked up chaotic. Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's just called chaotic.
Chaotic. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
chaotic. Yeah, chaotic. I was gonna get super into
Chaotica
that.
is a software.
Oh, huh. Now that I think about it, that was around the time when I was struggling with my programming class as well.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But you see what I'm saying? Like there were times where I was trying to get into stuff, and people were just being dickheads, especially with Pokemon. It was just a lot of people won't let you into the fandom unless you like answer some 50 questionnaire about all this other stuff. You know, and I don't know everything about it, and I'm sorry that my whole entire life isn't dedicated to some comics and stuff. Maybe I have other better things to do. Like even with Yakuza, I don't know everything. There are some I even forget some of their names. But it
It
just
doesn't have their names are in another language,
yeah, and it don't worry
and there's
about
so many characters too.
yeah, like don't worry about if you know every character. Don't worry about not knowing every single little detail. Because if you're like Robert, who knew the timeline of Devil May Cry, and they suddenly just change it up on you, you were you were mad. You're like, they don't know, they can't do that.
And then I played the game and I was like, okay, it makes sense.
Yeah, but and it makes sense. Yeah, you need to think about it. You need to go back and like really think about how that stuff works. But
Yeah,
if you enjoy it, I'm sure you can find a whole bunch of and that's what this whole entire like podcast is supposed to be about. Where we don't discriminate, we don't like judge people. Like if you don't know it, instead of just berating them, instead of gatekeeping, instead of being like, oh, well, you need to look up that information on your own because if you're a true fan, you would go above and beyond and whatever. I live in my mom's basement.
if you like Diesel, then you can leave.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
no, but the the aspect like the purpose of this channel would be if you didn't know about it, educate them like, oh well what don't you know, I can help you out if there's some things you don't understand, some things that may be made clearer to you, maybe like Robert asks me a bunch of stuff all the time and I give him some answers that may or may not make sense. Like
Yeah,
what was it you
and
asked
I
me?
eventually do figure it out.
um why doesn't Gohan have a prosthetic arm?
Oh right, yeah. Because I was watching. I actually have the Future Gohan DVD,
Really?
and I was watching it the other night. Yeah, my brother bought it. Um,
That's cool.
yeah, and I was watching it the other night, and then I saw fan art of people making it like they're drawing Gohan with a prosthetic like capsule corp arm. And I was like, hey, why didn't they do that in the show?
Yeah,
And then you're like, oh, Bulma was busy already, and it's post-apocalyptic, so
she
kind of
was.
hard to do that.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was. Well, and that may not be even be the reason. That was just like some reason. Like I was like, well, I
I
mean,
mean, it could be a reason in lore, but not what the people had intended.
yeah, and that kind of thing would be that some gatekeeper come like, oh, what, you don't know? Like, the hell's wrong with you? And it's like, well, I'm like, well, maybe there was a full battle going on. There's a bunch of stuff to look. It wouldn't matter. The only thing you have to worry about is that he doesn't have one. That's it.
Yeah,
But
and it
it's
doesn't change the story.
yeah. But like instead of being a dick, I was trying to give him an explanation that would satisfy his like thing. Because if it was anything like me with the Green Ranger's Dragon Shield that I was just so upset about. I was just like, no, how does it work? I can't go to sleep. And one day Robert was like, well, isn't it like pure morphin energy? Like, what if? Because I was wondering how he moved. He's like, well, what if it only hardens when he gets hit? You ever think about
Yeah,
that? And I was like, oh my god. And that may not be true, but that was enough to satisfy my need. And some people will berate you for not knowing that, and they probably don't even know that. They're like, oh well, you don't know that? Guess you're not a real fan. Chances are they probably don't even know it either, and stuff. And instead of just like being upset about it, just like, well, let's talk about it. That sounds like an interesting thing, and that's something me and Robert humor each other about most of that stuff. You know, I guess the overall thing is like, and this applies to everything. Don't be an asshole, man. People are just asking questions. It'd be different It'd be like the Twitch situation, like with Ray Navarez Jr. I had to say his full name because if I say Ray Navarez, then no one's gonna know who that is. All right, hold on, real quick, Robert, your mic.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Oh, what happened?
No, 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 I was like, oh no, I thought it cut out, but no, 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 I was doing that little gurgling because I think there's still issues with Discord.
Yeah, well, it'll get smoother as we go on.
But he has this issue where people ask him, "Oh, what game you playing? What system?" Even though it's all in the title.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So people ask him stupid questions. So it's just, just patience and humor people and stuff, and it's fun. Like, what's so we were playing the Warriors, a few, and Robert never played it. I like the Warriors. We have an episode for it, and we'll have it up
We'll
later.
upload it at some point.
Yeah. So, and he was like, "Oh, I never played the Warriors." It's like, "Oh, it's so fun. Like, let's just give it a try." And Robert's like, he humored me. He was like, "Okay, yeah, let's do it." I never realized how fun that game is with two players. That game is
Yeah.
so much fun, and we got a lot of good shots in it on the recording that we have for it. Although there's gonna be one point where it's gonna be a one-on-one match, and I look like I'm bullying him. I'm not. I wasn't. I didn't realize what I was doing until I was like, oh
Or
no.
like the way it looked until it was already done.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, like, you won't know until what's the point of like being into something if you can't share with anybody. I remember how being very distressed because no one really knew about Power Rangers, no one knew about Kamen Rider, and I didn't really want to like push that onto Robert. Like, I show him and he humors me, but it's not really his cup of tea. He likes some of the designs, he likes how some of them look.
What are you talking about? First time you saw me, I was wearing Power Ranger jacket.
I'm talking about Kamen Rider.
Okay, well, that's similar enough to Power Rangers.
Yeah, what happened to that jacket?
Throw it away.
Why?
I assume.
You're like, my clothes disappear. I don't look into the
Yeah,
house.
my clothes just vanished. Like my beanie. My beanie's gone.
Oh yeah.
Never found it, so I bought a new one. Anyways, back on topic.
Back up. I was just remembering how I was showing it to you, and you're like, oh, that's cool, and like, oh, that looks really cool. I was
Yeah.
like, you don't really care. He's like, no, it's not that I don't care. It's just he's like, I don't understand what's really going on. I like the way they look. It looks cool. I was
I
like,
like them when they don't look like bugs, because I don't like bugs.
they all look like bugs.
Not all the time.
No, no, yeah, you're right.
It
Not all the
depends on
time.
the series, like the version of them.
Yeah, some of them have a motif and stuff like that, but they still try to keep the bug. The earlier ones,
Like
they
the
all
Dio one.
they all look like, some look like bugs, some don't, which is pretty cool. And Robert was nice enough to give it a shot. He didn't knock it. It may not be his cup of tea, but he humored me, and that's what most people should do.
Who's
What's up?
who's the one that has the red scarf?
Ichigo.
He's my favorite.
It's Kamen Rider Ichigo and Nigo.
Yeah.
Nigo. Nigo.
Yes.
Swear someone's gonna be like, oh, what did he say? What? No, Nigo. Ichi ni san. 1, 2, 3. Japanese. That's essentially how they
Yeah.
go. However, for whatever reason, you know how it was like, oh, Kamen Rider Sango? I was like, that's not Sango. That's Ichigo. And he's like, oh, how do you know? I was like, well, because the Sango is 3. Yes. But for whatever reason, the third rider in the entire Kamen Rider series is named V3.
Okay.
And even then, I don't know why. But most people won't really fault me for that. I was like, I don't know why he's called V3, but I know he's not. I know he's the third one. I know Kamen Rider Sango is technically the fourth one, even though Kamen Rider Sango, I think, translates to Mask Rider third or Mask Rider 3.
So confusing.
It's super. It is, and
I'm sure there's an explanation for it.
yeah, it was just like whatever they had at the time. There's like Kamen Rider, like, and it's just like this whole entire fandom can be toxic, and it's super toxic. I've literally seen 3 people that I followed quit the Toku Twitter because there are a lot of people who are assholes,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
hate.
they're-
I
It's
hate.
Twitter.
Yeah, I hate to see people give it up. I hate to see people give up the fandom. They were so passionate about it. All 3 of them were just so passionate about it, but enough people were enough to get them to stop liking it anymore. I mean, I don't want anybody to stop liking what they like. I mean, that's what I want the channel to be about. You could come in here and talk about something that I don't know what it is, but there might
Yeah,
be other
inform
people.
us.
Yeah, there might be people who know about it. Like, I know people probably don't know what Kamen Rider is. It may
What's
be.
Common Rider?
Well,
Or like Diesel. I mentioned Diesel earlier. Not, I'm pretty sure not a lot of people are gonna get that
oh
reference.
yeah. Okay, if
We'll
any,
cover it at some point.
real quick.
Or do you want to go over it real quick?
Well, if anybody does make it this far into the video, I don't know how far in the future it is. Look up Diesel. It's the craziest mind bending shit I have ever seen. It blew
Bet you
my
type in comic
mind.
after that.
Yeah, the Diesel comic
Because you type in
and
Diesel, you're probably just gonna get like oil.
or JoJo knockoff comic. It is
Yeah,
so blatantly a ripoff of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I don't think it was
it's like an
supposed to be.
Americanized.
I think it was supposed to
Yeah,
be like a homage to it, but it came out looking too similar for it. And the guy creating the comic really wanted to do an Americanized manga version for it, but they said no. So there's
yeah.
a video on
He's
it.
got like
I can't. Do you remember who it was? I can't remember if we
uh,
found.
I can look it up real quick. But
Well,
yeah, there's like only one issue of the comic.
because it wasn't really all that interesting, and it was
It
super
wasn't
confusing
well
to follow.
received. Yeah.
But it's just, if you can, just look it up. It is so crazy.
No, no, go lay down.
What are you
Sorry,
doing?
my dog's bothering me.
Oh no.
He's supposed to be asleep.
Hey, what did I tell you about not going to bed? Uh,
Yeah.
he's like, there's not any repercussions to go along with it, but it upsets me.
Yeah.
But the Diesel comments, it's a trip. We did a podcast on it. I don't remember when. I can't. I know it's called Diesel's Crazy Journey,
Yeah.
but it was super. Uh, but obscure
Let's
things
see.
like those, and there are a bunch of stuff like I don't know about it, and I thought it was funny. I don't. It's not like I was like, oh yeah, Diesel is crazy, man. So there's
Okay,
something
okay.
you found it,
I found the video. It's by a creator on YouTube known as Digby the Goat.
right?
Um, so just type in Diesel comic. Whoops, my bad.
Oh no.
Yeah, just type in Diesel comic and then JoJo, and it should pop up
Yeah,
on YouTube.
yeah. There's a lot of yeah. So what's cool about it is like you can come to the fandom and just be like, hey, have you guys heard so and so's like, oh yeah, I heard of that. I was like, I have no idea what that is. What is it? And if it's our not cup of tea, don't get mad at us. It's just for whatever reason, me and Robert. Scary reason is that me and Robert actually like a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah,
It's very odd, actually. Now that you think about it.
like we liked a lot of the same things without realizing it at first.
Yeah, and there were some times where Robert's like, I was looking up this thing and I was spelling it out for him. He's like, get out of my head.
Yeah,
You're like, no. And so like with JoJo's, I was telling Robert about it. He's like, I'm never gonna watch it. He's like, dude, JoJo's Stone Ocean, and here we are, JoJo's Bizarre
we'll
Adventure.
say part one and part three were the hardest to get through, at
Yeah,
least for me.
for me, I liked it. I watched it in Japanese subbed because it's weird hearing Johnny Young Bosk's weird British accent thing. Shut up! No, you don't. You're like, I
Stop
love.
snoring. Stop it. My dog's snoring.
Can you hear it? Hold on.
Uh,
No, I don't think
she
you
stopped.
can. No, but yeah, and one anime that wasn't really Robert's cup of tea, and it was only the reason why I was like badgering him so much was because it was my on Twitter, just because I changed it. But
For
I,
that,
I personally enjoy Baki, and I wanted him to
say the
watch
full
it.
title.
Baki the Grappler, or at the Grappler Baki. They changed it around,
Whatever.
and I was just because Robert couldn't figure out my and every time we're on Twitter, he'll say something. I was like, "Oh, did you finish watching Baki?" And he's like, "No, I'm not gonna finish watching Baki." Yeah, Baki the Grappler. It's crazy, man. And it was just I was so giddy because he just never realized it. And I think it's been what, a year since then.
It was about a year. Yeah.
And
And then you told me, and like I got every single flashback from every time you've mentioned it
yeah,
all at once.
because he was just like, "Oh, why don't you watch Baki again? Because you're so obsessed with it." I do love Baki, and I love Keigen Ashura. Those were two my jam. Robert, I think you like Keigen Ashura, right? Or
I
Keigen?
love Kengan.
Keigen Ashura is pretty badass. Baki wasn't really your thing. I thought it was because like it was super over the top and super goofy.
Yeah.
and I loved it, but it was see Robert doesn't like it, and I wasn't gonna pressure him to do it. The only reason why I was bringing it up all the time was because Robert couldn't figure out my ad. So, but me and Robert have like our music tastes aren't always the same. You know, there are some, like you didn't know, like how we were talking about AFI and Miss Murder. Like, how do you know who that is? I was like, and like the only reason why I knew was because of Guitar Hero.
Yep, I
Yeah,
knew it.
yeah. You're like, yeah. That's the only reason why I know it. Like, because you and Blake have more of a on par music taste than like, cause like me and you, our music taste is either the Yakuza soundtrack, the Persona soundtrack, Ninja Sex Party, and all this other stuff. Huey Lewis and the News.
Yep.
You like jazz, Robert?
No, I
No,
don't.
me neither. Not in a sense. I like it in those cool animes that use jazz at random points, like Cowboy
Like,
Bebop.
yeah.
I love
I was
that.
gonna say that backwards.
Bebop
Bebop
Cowboy.
Cowboy. I was like, wait, no, it's not right.
But there are good. Well, there are a good couple animes that use thing. So this, I know we're talking about gatekeeping, but all this is an example of how easy it is to introduce someone to something and just being still cool, but like at least they gave it a shot, or if they say no, that's fine. My sister, I showed my sister the My Hero Academia, the fight between no Nomu and All Might, and how that was my favorite scene, and eventually she came around to it and she loves My Hero Academia.
Yeah, My Hero Macadamia.
My Hero Macadamia nuts. Don't mean up the mini bar at the mini bar. They charge you a shit ton of money for it. No, but she got really into it and she almost like cried because she thought Endeavor was gonna die. I was like, "You don't like Endeavor?" And she's like, "Shut up! He was doing his best to try to be a good dad."
Shut up, he's a father.
Yeah, I was like, and then I was like, "Oh, you should watch Tokyo Ghoul." She's like, "Romance, man, romance anime only." I was like, "It has romance," and she comes back at the end of it. It's so beautiful. The ending is so beautiful. I was like, "Oh, I'm glad you like it." And I tried to get her to watch what was it? I think it was either Baki, Keigen Ashura, or some other anime. And she was like, "No, I don't want to watch that. I like the romance." I was like, oh, "Okay, that's fine."
No, it's too macho.
Yeah, like because she watches Fruit Basket and
Oh, okay, like stuff like that.
yeah, like romance animes. And I don't like romance animes, but I respect her decision to like not do it. She watched all of Naruto. She watched My Hero Academia. She did that for me, and I appreciate that she did that, and she really liked it.
Yeah.
So even if you come across a gatekeeper, just know that that dude's only really blocking the first part of it. There might be a hole in a fence you can crawl through, or another
Or
side
just wiggle the
entrance.
gate.
Yeah, just your gate. You need to fix that, Robert. Your
It's
gate
fine.
is gonna fall apart. I don't think the rest of your other gates can support that big iron gate.
It's gonna be fine.
But and I don't want to say we got off topic because I just got so into like talking it with you. But you know, once you find somebody who you can call your best friend, you can just talk about
Everything.
whatever. You can just talk whatever. And like, I hate you sometimes, and I'm gonna go over there and beat you up. I'm gonna steal your shoes.
No, need them.
Why?
Actually, I don't.
You're like, no, no. We agreed they're they're cosmetic.
Well, I mean, they're so I can purchase stuff. I don't think people would let me buy things if I didn't have shoes on.
uh, well, I mean, given your situation, I think they'd be okay with it. What are you gonna
Did I tell you about the one time I went around campus with one shoe on and I didn't realize it for a whole day?
do? No.
Yeah.
How, how, I thought you were gonna follow up with that because you threw it across the room.
No. Although I have done that before.
I was like, I didn't, because I caught you off guard. I was like, I just chucked it across the room. I don't make it a habit of trying to take your shoes off.
Actually, that's just a thing we do, apparently.
Wait, hang on.
Because
Wait,
you
for
would.
context, real quick, Robert is wheelchair bound. He is in a wheelchair. So if
Yeah.
anybody's
So
wondering,
it's like
like,
super easy to steal my shoes.
yeah, so super easy.
Like, you'll steal my shoes, and then, like, wasn't there a point where we stole Blake's shoes and threw them in the trash can? Or
uh,
was that me?
that was
That might have been
you.
me.
No,
I
because
don't
you're.
know why I did it.
I was in dad mode. I was telling you because I was editing some of the audio for the podcast, and I told you guys to settle down,
Oh, that's
and
right.
and I was like, I go stop. I go give her shoes back, all this other stuff, and
Oh, right. And in defiance, I just threw it in the trash can.
yeah, do the rebel, the fines and stuff. But
Yeah.
so another gatekeeping thing that I thought about because I mentioned it earlier was Persona. That I only know Persona 5.
Right.
However,
Well,
I am familiar with the other personas.
right.
Now,
Like four.
here's the thing though. When people are gatekeeping about you, all you have to do is hit them with the old, oh yeah, what about Persona? What about Shin Megami Tensei? Huh? Do you like that? Do you know Persona is a spin-off for Shin Megami Tensei? No, I bet you didn't, huh? Asshole. Something like that. And they just pretty much
Yeah.
shut up. However, they get very violent. Like if you don't ship these one people, or if you don't say the right thing, or if they even they can even question you. And I've seen people question you about the soundtrack of Persona 5. Right? Oh, Persona 5 is man, this and this and this. Oh, Persona 5 is a lot easier than all the other personas. It's like, cool. This was a mistake.
It's still stupid hard.
Yeah, well, and it's not like it follows a coherent storyline. Like every persona is about different people,
Yeah.
and they,
Kind of like JoJo's.
they have a little hint to each of them. Like you'll see common people like Igor and stuff like that, and there's always, I for the only consistency that I know is Igor, and the fact that the main character, in the anime talks, in the game it doesn't, they don't, and they for whatever reason can wield multiple personas.
Yeah.
So
For like lore reasons.
yeah, and a lot of people will gatekeep still like that. It's not even a coherent storyline. It's just there's just different parts to it, and people will just give you the business because you don't know about Persona, 3 or its other incarnations and stuff. And it's like, all right, guy, okay,
Yeah. Whatever.
yeah, whatever, okay. So if you ever come across a gatekeeper, remember they're an optional boss you don't have to get past.
I never showed you Spider Riders.
Yeah, you did.
Did I?
Yeah, we were in the room. That was with Chaotic too, and
Right.
and something
Oh, man, I love Spider Riders.
Metabots. Remember, I was showing you. We were like looking up like old like cartoons we
Right.
used
Yeah,
to
we're
watch.
looking up old. Yeah.
So that was
Sonic X.
we were watching Sonic X in the room, but I missed the room. Now that I think about it.
Thinking at dawn.
Sorry, I almost choked on my spit. No, I'm getting thirsty because it's getting hotter in my room.
Yeah.
No, but
You'll be fine.
I'll be fine.
We have like how long do we have left?
We're at 43 minutes.
Oh, you'll be fine.
In any case, gatekeeping as a whole, you can spot it right away. And remember, if they won't tell you that shit in person because you're within punching distance.
Yeah.
Usually gatekeeping can only be
Bonk
seen.
him in the head.
Gatekeeping, can only be seen not seen online. There are some people who forget they're not on, not in the virtual world, like not over a computer where you can actually, And if some gatekeeper in real life comes up to you, and gives you the business, just tell them you're talking a lot of shit for a guy within pocket sand distance, and hit him with the pocket sand, right in the eyes. Or if you're like me and Robert and carry around like that lemon salt, just right in the eyes.
Yeah.
That shit burns.
Oh
Yesterday.
yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, yesterday I forgot I had my fan on and I was just like, just throwing it in my mouth.
Yeah, you got a lesson.
Yeah, I got just like 2 fan worth of like Lucas in my eyes. I was like, oh dear God.
That seated blood sport
Yeah, it's just like
when he crushes up the pill.
yeah, and I can't see. I was like, oh, my eyes. And it's just like, oh, this sucks. But gatekeepers aren't necessarily your worst enemy. They're joke enemies. They're the people who's like, okay, guy, whatever you say, bitch.
Fun drinking game.
Yeah,
Take a shot every time we say gatekeeper or gatekeeping.
Lore Keeper.
Actually, you know what? A lot of things do need a
A what?
lore master.
Oh, Lore Master.
Mortal Kombat. Lore Master.
Uh,
Yeah.
Sorry, because you cut off a little.
NetherRealm tends to forget a lot of things,
Yeah, but like,
but it's fine. It's
didn't the
whatever.
Mortal Kombat 9 do a reboot? So just like
They
whatever.
did, but like Mortal Kombat 11 disregards things from 9, and it's like, it's a bit iffy, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, and and just remember that no matter what they say, who gives a shit, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you're allowed to like
debatable.
you're allowed to like whatever you like, and just because you don't know every goddamn detail of it, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. That's why people get into it. Like for a long time, I didn't watch JoJo's up until about like 2 years ago. I was curious. I heard everyone talking about this anime. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll watch it. Holy crap, this thing's amazing.
Even
I was like, this is badass. I was like, Phantom Blood, Battle Tendencies. I'm all about them. Stardust
yeah,
Crusaders, huh? Stands? Fuck. You know,
isn't there like a really old Phantom Blood movie, like animated,
yes, but
and it's like a mystery?
well, what's weird is that even Stardust Crusaders had an anime before that. The Stardust Crusaders you see like
Yeah,
on Toonami and like Netflix, that's not the original OVA that they had. We had another one where Star Platinum wore pants.
it's so weird, but man, I love it.
And it's English dubbed too, so it's like really weird.
Okay, yeah, that part's weird. I love the art style for it though.
Yeah. However, like especially JoJo fans, they will like, oh yeah, well, what's your favorite stand? And you say Zipperman because you don't know any better. They will get on you like, oh, you're not a real JoJo fan. His real stand name is Sticky Fingers. I was like, all right, boss, calm down. Yeah, just tell him. Like there was another person that I was talking to, and I was like, oh hey, well, what's your favorite stand? And he's like, oh, Zipperman. I was like, Zipperman. He's like, yeah, Zipperman. And they sent me a picture. I was like, oh. I go, sorry. I go, I only know him about his other name. He's like, he has another name. I go, well, Zipperman's they changed the names.
Yeah,
You know,
for copyright reasons.
yeah. I was like, for couple reasons they changed the names. Like that's not his name. I go, yeah. If you were to go to the the Japanese, so you'll hear him say Sticky Fingers. That's the name of
Yeah,
the thing. And sure enough, they looked up Sticky Fingers, and the stand popped up, and they're like, oh, you were right. I was like, yeah. I go, don't worry about it though. If it's Zipperman to you, it's Sticky Fingers. Don't worry about it. You know,
yeah,
even the shirt merchandise says like different names, like
yeah. As a matter of fact, my JoJo shirt,
yeah, the
it
Diamond
has like the
Unbreakable
English. Yeah, it
one,
has
right?
like the English names.
Yeah, and even then, even sometimes I forget some of the names. Like I always get confused with echoes and reverb,
Right.
just because like it's been a while for me, or sometimes I just don't really pay attention. Like I know the only ones that the canon name stay the same was like what Star Platinum, The World, Magician Red, Silver Chair.
Yeah,
Those are
because
tarot
they're based
cards.
off tarot cards.
Yeah, tarot or tarot.
Tarot
Okay, cool. So I don't look like a dumbass.
or tarot.
The game
No, I've never
is
heard anyone say
is
that.
that is that one about the dinosaurs? No, that's
Yeah.
Turok.
Oh man, I miss Tarot, but
Yeah,
not the weird reboot
the
for
old
like
one.
the 360. Yeah, like the super old one.
I think you can get that on the Switch.
Stop reminding me about the Switch.
Oh yeah, you don't have a Switch. Sorry.
Shut up.
Yeah. So we're almost at the end, and I like to. I'm holding on. I was holding on to the story because of you didn't remind me about that one thing I was supposed to talk about.
Don't forget that one thing.
I don't know what it was. Damn it.
It's fine. You'll get over it.
Well, okay, so I like to end this with a little story. This is real quick. So at some point in time, I got back into Power Rangers, right? And a lot of people were talking about these new Power Rangers that I'd never even seen before. I've never even seen who these guys were. So it just dawned on me that these guys weren't really, something I knew about. So I was just like, oh crap, I don't know who these guys are. And somebody was nice enough to explain it to me. Somebody was like, okay, so these are the Japanese Power Rangers. And it blew my mind. I was like, what? So they sent me a bunch of YouTube
Oh,
links.
that's right.
And I was like, everything I know is a lie. It's all a lie. The cake is a lie.
I've been bamboozled.
I've been bamboozled again. And they were super nice about it too, and that's what really it should be about. Don't be a gatekeeper. If they don't know about it, explain it to them nicely. Don't be a total dick. Like with Ray, when he didn't realize what the Tojo clan hierarchy was and he didn't understand it, nobody called him out about it. He didn't know any better. Someone was nice enough to explain it to him what it was, and they still do. And I'm glad he enjoys the Yakuza series too, so that's good. But
Yeah.
don't be the reason why people don't get into fandoms no more. Don't be that person. They're just happy that they found something that they like. So that's it. Next time.
Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, I think I kind of want to talk about. Crap! There I go again. I forget about what I wrote. Uh,
Oh no.
Eventually, we'll figure something out. We have a whole bunch of ideas, but
Mystery episode.
yes. But until then, I'm Justin,
Okay.
and this
That's
is
cool.
Rupert, and we'll see you guys next mission. Next mission. Bye.